Muadh Ibn Jabal. Can I share with you the story of his death briefly? Muadh and Abu Ubaidah were part of the army that eventually conquered Sham. Unfortunately, a plague broke out. Abu Ubaidah passed away because of that plague. Umar radiallahu anh tried to rescue him out. Umar had such love for Abu Ubaidah. He used to say that if Abu Ubaidah was alive and I was about to die, Abu Ubaidah would have been the Khalifa. Sadly, he wasn't. And that's why he chose the Council of Six. Anywho, Abu Ubaidah, Umar radiallahu anh heard about the plague and he wrote a letter implying to Abu Ubaidah, I need you to come to Medina urgently. Abu Ubaidah read through it. He's like, I know exactly what you want, but I want to die with my soldiers. Abu Ubaidah passed away. Who did he put in charge after him? Muadh Ibn Jabal. Muadh radiallahu anh, interestingly enough, soldiers around him are being ravaged by the plague, but he himself is not afflicted yet. And he sees people dying and he knows this is the death of shahada and martyrdom. And Muadh, when he sees what's happening around him and people are becoming afraid, Muadh gave a little speech. He says, "O people, you see this as a punishment. I see this as a mercy. Rather, what you see as a punishment is Allah's mercy for choosing shuhada from amongst you. فَإِنَّهُ رَحْمَةٌ لَكُمْ. And this is the death of the righteous before you." Changing their perspective about what's happening to them. He lost 2 daughters in this plague, buried them, and he says, "Satajiduni insha'Allahu min as-sabirin." Just like Ibrahim when he was about to slaughter his son, he said, "Satajiduni, inshallah, you'll find me from the patient." And then he made a dua for himself. He says, "Ya Allah, you know the only thing that I desire about this world is fasting the long days of summer and praying the long nights of winter and rushing through the halaqat of the scholars." He's like, "Ya Allah, I have feared you living this life, but Ya Allah, you know that my heart loves you. So Ya Allah, if it's time for me to meet you finally, then I welcome that appointment." Narrations say that's when the plague afflicted him and his wounds and his situation became worse until Muadh Ibn Jabal eventually succumbed to that plague and passed away as a shaheed. Rahimahullah wa radiyallahu anhum wa radu an. You know why I bring this story? Because he's a'lamun nasi bil halal wal haram. This is the man who's the most knowledgeable about the labels of halal and haram. Yet, fiqh that he's such an expert in, which is a rational endeavor, his rationality does not keep him from his spirituality. Look at the connection with Allah. It's like, Allahumma anta ta'lamu anni uhibbuk wa qalbi yuhibbuk. He's like, Ya Allah, you know my heart loves you. It's unbelievable. This Muadh, radiallahu anh, with all the ilm, his ilm doesn't take him away from his ibadah. His cognitive prowess doesn't take him away from his spiritual depth. And this is the balance the companions had. That as they got into the discussions of different adillas and qat'i and dhanni, and as they're getting into different usuls, this cerebral exercise is not taking them away. It's not compromising their connection with God. It's amazing. Later in the ummah, this occurred where people who are like super into philosophy and aqidah, these are the least spiritual people. And then people who are super into spirituality, they couldn't construct a single logical argument. So you had this crazy dichotomy that began to emerge. And the way of the companions was to maintain that balance. And to the degree possible, we do that. And that's why we delve into spiritual gems. So we don't get lost in the fiqh sauce and lose the ultimate purpose, and that is the pleasure of Allah and to seek His ridwan. May Allah make us from them and allow us to benefit from their example. Ameen ya Rabbal Alamin.